Hi, Matt with Etrailer. Today we're going to be talking about the Benton Shifts and Grins bike rack on the back of our 2017 Chevrolet Silverado 2500. So let's check it out. So I think this rack's really going to be for someone who is going out riding pretty often, but you need that hitch available for something else. Maybe like your trailer that you're towing behind you. So when this bike rack's not in your hitch, it's going to have to go somewhere. And that's where I think this really excels at, because this actually has the ability to fold in on itself to store really neatly close to the wall. Which is also really important because we do have a bigger vehicle, so trying to share that space with your tools in your garage, your truck, and that bike rack might be a little bit tough at times. So I think that's really one of the main things that stand out about this rack. I also like how it really interacts with the 2500 today. And what I mean by that is it's going to allow you to access your tailgate or the back of your bed. Because sometimes if you have a shell like we have today, you won't be able to reach in from the side, so you're going to have the only way to get in there is from the back. The way we're going to do that is by coming over here to the back of it, pressing on that button, and then lowering this down. With that lowered down, I can actually come over here now. Gives me a little bit more space to work over here too. And you'll notice when I lower this tailgate, nothing's going to get in its way. Now I would recommend just watch out for your pedals. You might have to rearrange them sometimes. But this is going to be perfect, so if I need to grab any tools, I can do that real quick. Or if you need to get in here, you can actually get on one of those steps and kind of get further into the back of your bed too. And we can put this back into the seated position. Really, it's not too difficult. If I just push up on here, it's going to move nicely. Now there are going to be some other factors to that. So if you have a heavier bike like an e-bike, because this does have a 55-pound capacity per bike, that might be a little bit more difficult, but for the most part, not too bad. Now we can actually start taking our bike off. They take a closer look at this. So if we start with the front strap, all you have to do is press down on that button, press that out of the way, and it's going to be the same thing for the backside too. And with these both removed, all I have to do now is go over to this front or this top ratcheting hook. I'm just going to press this button, and this is going to release it. I recommend holding on to the bike so it doesn't fall off on you, because nothing right now is holding it into place. And I can kind of scoot that out of my way. I'll just set this here for the moment. All I have to do now is pick this up, and again, if you have a heavier bike, this might be a little bit more difficult because this rack is a little bit higher, but for the most part, that doesn't feel too bad. And now is a good thing, just kind of maintain everything, put everything back where it should go. Now, something I do like about these cradles that hold your bike into place is they have these hand knobs, so you can really push or adjust where these sit, so you can adjust for different wheelbases. And also make sure you put this back into place, because you don't want to forget about that, since that's how we hold a bike into place. But from here, let's get a few measurements just to see how this is going to fit on the back of your Silverado. So the first measurement I like to get is going to be our ground clearance. From the furthest point out, that's going to be about 25 inches from the ground. That's nowhere near to making contact with it. Even with having heavier bikes back here, it might sag maybe an inch at the very most, but you should be good. The biggest thing to really think about here is lifting those bikes into place, because lifting up that high might be a little bit difficult, especially getting it on these type of cradles, especially if you have those e-bikes. But from here, let's get another measurement, and that's going to be the total distance that sits away from our bumper. So going from there to here, that's going to be a little bit under 35 inches, which is pretty standard for a 2-bike carrier. That's actually not too bad since we do sit so far away from our back bumper, but we can save space, especially if you're trying to get into those tighter spots like a parking spot or in a garage. And now, the total distance we're going to sit away is only going to be just a little bit under 22 inches. So it's going to save you a lot of space. Now with it in this position, it is going to block a few things. The main thing it's going to block is going to be your license plate right in the back of your truck. It also is going to block a little bit of your backup camera. At that point, I'd probably just recommend either using your back window, since it's not going to be blocked, or your mirrors on either side. Now, another thing that it's not going to block, though, is going to be your taillight, so you should be good in that respect. And the way this is going to work is we're going to have this 2-inch shank that goes into a 2-inch receiver. Now, we do have a larger receiver. Right now, we're using a reducer to make sure this does work. So definitely check that and make sure you have something that's going to work with 2-inch shanks. And the way we're going to help keep this in place is we're going to have an anti-rattle bolt that goes through and it connects to a nut on the other side. Now, if you want something that's going to be a little bit more secure, you can actually find a lock core on our website that's going to be compatible with this anti-rattle bolt for more security. And something else that's going to make loading this a little bit easier is, if you notice, right now we're going to have this alignment collar, and there's going to be this number on it. That lets you know how far away this sits, and you can actually adjust this by just loosening this up real quick. You'll notice it's not making contact at all. If I push it all the way over there, now it is. What this is designed to do is you set this to a certain number, and it's going to stay like this. And every time you put it on in the future, you don't have to worry about lining up that pinhole each time. And before I forget, something else I also like about this is if I lower this down, you notice I still have access to open up my tailgate. So that's nice that you don't have to take that extra step just to really tilt this back. It's still going to work like this, just barely, but right now it's not making contact with anything. And really, that's going to be one of the things that kind of puts this at the top of bike racks for me for this vehicle, because in most spots, this is not going to interfere with anything on your vehicle when it comes to your tailgate. But let us know how this is working with your Silverado, whether you're getting your full tailgate access, and if it's kind of making those journeys a little bit easier for you. And let us know if you're saving a lot of space with this type of folding capability that it offers you too. Now, there's a lot of other options out there, and they're going to provide different solutions for you, but I think this is going to be the bike rack for someone who's maybe going out riding every so often, not all the time. You're going to have a reason to take this on and off your vehicle, so you can hook up a trailer to it at some point, and when it is off, you want something that's not going to take up very much space in your garage. But again, this was a look at the Shifts and Grins bike rack on the back of our 2017 Chevrolet Silverado 2500. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.